Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Adile, I'm a registered nurse, and this channel focuses on health prevention, health awareness, and simple health tips that could save lives. So today I'm going to be sharing with us the differences between meningitis and flu, the red flags for meningitis. I'm also going to be talking to us about the symptoms of meningitis in both adults and children. So let's get started. Meningitis is an infection and inflammation of the brain linings. These linings are called meninges. So I've done a previous video about meningitis. What exactly is meningitis? How does it spread? How do we prevent it? If you've not watched that video, I'm going to pop it on top of this video, and at the end of this video you can always go back to watch that one. So this is just a brief definition of what meningitis is. There are different types. We have the bacteria, which is the most dangerous, not as common though. The viral ones are more common, but they are milder. They are not as serious. So now I'm going to run us through the symptoms in an adult or older children for meningitis. So you would find high fever, you would find severe headache, you would find neck stiffness, very important. So in meningitis patients, it's very painful, literally impossible to bend the head forward like that. And that's what we call neck stiffness. There is also light sensitivity. Meningitis patients cannot tolerate bright light. And that's why usually we nurse them in a quiet, dark environment in clinical settings, because we don't want to overstimulate the brain or cause further injury. We also have vomiting, confusion, drowsy or being difficult to wake, and also the non-fading rash. This is a rash that when you press glass on top of it, it doesn't fade, it doesn't blanch, it remains. You would see the rash even against the glass. Right, so in children or in babies, usually you would notice high-pitched cry, not the usual tone of that baby's cry. The baby will be refusing to feed. Vomiting is another one, and then the soft spot on the baby's head will be bulging. Now that we've talked about the symptoms of meningitis in both adults and children, I'm quickly going to run through the symptoms of flu as well, because this is where we get to make that comparison. You would notice that most of the symptoms are respiratory in nature. You would have things like runny nose, cough, sore throats, headache, muscle aches. They will usually improve in few days to a week. But because meningitis and flu have shared symptoms like headache, you would have headache in both flu and meningitis, like fever, like tiredness, just feeling unwell. This is why a lot of people confuse them. Right. What are the major differences now between meningitis and flu? Drum rolls. Right, so let's get straight into it. One of the major symptoms between meningitis and flu is that in meningitis, you have neck stiffness. Most of the symptoms for meningitis are more of neurological symptoms. Most of the symptoms for flu are just respiratory symptoms. So in meningitis, you would have severe headache, not just headache, but severe headache. In meningitis, you would have neck stiffness. You wouldn't have neck stiffness in flu. In meningitis, there is light sensitivity. You won't have that with flu. In meningitis, you can have things like confusion and seizure, because the brain is affected. Apart from that, flu would usually start getting better in few days to a week. But meningitis will get worse very rapidly. You won't find all the symptoms that I've mentioned in typical flu case. So I'll just advise daily to keep washing our hands, not to share our cutleries or utensils, to cover our mouths when we cough, to build our immunity up, have good sleep, eat good food, eat fruits, and just stay healthy. So when are you to act? What are the red flags? Neck stiffness, very important. Sensitivity to light, when someone is becoming confused, and when you notice this non-fading rash and seizure as well, please call emergency immediately. So I would say meningitis is very serious, but it's preventable. So please trust your instincts. And if you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, and share it. You never know, you just might be helping to save a life today. Stay safe, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.